Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dark Proud Black Woman Show. So, what am I doing today? We all know that it is Black History Month, and I've been bringing fantastic guests throughout the month, to showcase them and what they do and how they have been supporting the community and growing, the community. And today is we're supporting and we're spotlighting the Black authors that we have. Like, we cannot overemphasize the fact that they have contributed so much into the books that are out there, either for adults, for kids, for whatever it is. They have been contributing, and people are not showcasing them enough. So if we don't do that by ourselves, then who's going to do it for us? So I have two fantastic people here today. They are both best-selling authors. I'm well connected, y'all. I'm well connected. So show me your friend and I will show you who you are. So automatically, I'm attaching myself to you. You are my friends, and I'm already booking a space in your heart. All right. So, so who do I have here today? I know you guys want to know, but I'm going to introduce them shortly. So those of you joining us, please leave a comment in the comment section. Where are you watching us from? Are you here in Canada? If you are, please let us know where you're watching from. Is it Calgary? Is it Alberta? Is it Toronto? Leave it in the comment section. If you are not here in Canada, where are you watching us from? We would like to know that. That's how we mark attendance on this show. So, show us some love and all that good stuff. Anyway, so as I said, who do I have here today? I'm going to introduce them shortly. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Yeah. So I have an author, a publisher, a teacher, and a public speaker. Her name is Latoya Belfon. So backstory: I've had both of you on my show last season, and I'm so grateful that you guys accepted to come again this season. And I have another best-selling author, Ariyike Akinbobola. She's also an internationally trained lawyer. She has written books, and now she has added another one for kids, also to a list of ever-growing accolades that she has. And then she has so many other accolades. She has Ariyike Arise Initiative, which is like a not-for-profit, and she supports people, female genital mutilation, kids, and all of that. Is a fantastic and amazing work. If you want to know more about these two fantastic people, go to the description and you can check out their bio. I had to shorten it a little bit because there was not a lot of space in there, but these people are achievers, and they're people that you would like to connect with, and you'll have to learn a thing or two from them. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. So first of all, I'm going to go to Ariyike. How was your week? You're muted.
Thank you very much for that introduction. Hey, ladies.
Hey.
How you doing? Okay, so my week in a nutshell was very eventful. I had a lot of activities, regarding my book. I had to send several emails. And of course, I work full time. So I was, working as well. And I'm also a mom, a full-time mom. So working full-time, being a mom full-time, taking care of the kids, making sure that they get to the school bus on time, and just putting things together, also planning for my event, which I would be,
After the
heading
show,
up
right?
to shortly, like after we're done. But yeah, all in all, I'm thankful. I'm always thankful for whatever comes my way. It was, as I said in quotes, very eventful. If I begin to talk about my week, we probably won't leave here today. But yeah, I'm thankful. I'm always thankful, and I'm happy to be here. I'm super, super excited for just the conversation that we're going to have, and it's my first time being side by side with Latoya. I watched her when she was on your show, and I was in the comment section all through, just putting all the comments, and I was super, super inspired, by her, by what she said. And I am ever inspired by her work, everything that she's doing. She's a publisher, she's an author, and yeah, it feels great to be here with you lovely ladies.
Yay. So now I'm gonna go to Latoya. I can see you already like,
Oh, okay.
How was your week?
My week was, busy, the same. We're all mothers. We're all career women, driven, passionate Black women, Black queens. Yes, I don't even remember the day I launched this book, but that was going on as well. Promo for the book, and but all of the while, teaching at school and other things. You have just one part of your book or whatever you're doing is just one part of the mystery that is a Black woman or a woman. We're
Yeah.
juggling so many different things, but I'm really grateful to be here with our newest best-selling author, Ariyike. Congratulations. And just to you, I just love you so much, Fikemi. You're just an
Uh,
awesome. You live what you preach. You're so supportive. I mean, it's an honor to be here, and we're both of us. We're really grateful to to share.
Thank you so much. So,
Thank
you
you.
guys are amazing. Let me just say that. Both of you are, I think when you were coming on the show, you were supposed to have a cape to show that you're super women. All right. Because that's really, you juggle a whole lot. There's so many people that are parents, and that alone is very tasking, right? Very, very tasking. And then you have full-time jobs, and then you're publishers, and then you have other things that you do. Like Ariyike, you have your not-for-profit, and Latoya, you are a publisher, and you are also assisting other people as well to, be able to publish their own books, to self-publish, and all of that. That's fantastic. So this time around, what is made me, invite both of you is because you guys decided to go more in depth into the way of diversity and inclusion, bringing our kids into self-love, into kindness, into realizing that even though we are different in color, it doesn't matter. We are all unique in whatever field we find ourselves in, whatever skin we find ourselves, and we should always respect other people. And that's fantastic. So you released 2 fantastic books. So Cadence, I hope I'm pronouncing the name right because I don't know.
Yes.
Cadence Learns Self-Love. This is by Latoya Belfon. And I'll just quickly read a little bit on the back. She said, by embracing our uniqueness, Cadence, the chocolate chip cookie, realizes that losing herself to become like another is not worth it. So self-love, loving yourself, appreciating whatever situation you are in, it's very important. And that's a good lesson to learn. And at the same time, we have Ariyike Akinbobola. This is our first kids book as well, beautifully colored. You don't even need to read what is inside before you know that this is packed with, diversity and inclusion matters. And I'm also going to read the back as well. As you can see all the different people there. Like, it's rich with culture. It is rich with color. It is rich with diversity. You can see that. And it doesn't even, and by diversity, it doesn't only mean color. You can see there's a person, let me see, on a wheelchair there. You can see the person in hijab. So it inculcates also disability and as well religion. You can see another person with hijab and all of that. So this is fantastic. And it says, beautifully colored is a children's picture book on kindness, diversity, inclusion, and positive affirmations. A must read for every child interested in learning more about diversity, inclusion, and positive values in our ever-changing world. Whoop, that's fantastic. So now I know I'm talking a lot. I'm going to go first to Latoya. What brought about the inspiration for this book, Cadence Learns Self-Love? What brought about that inspiration?
Yes. So, my whole journey to becoming an author was to tell diverse stories. My ever first interview, that was the lie, to tell diverse stories, but just not only to tell stories that are, I love my Black hair, I love my Black skin, but to show our children everyday, normal, healthy families. Like, we have husbands and we have solid homes. We have our children growing up, exposing them to culture. I saw Rika take her kids on vacation. They're learning that kind of stuff that we didn't always grow up with. But we have normal, beautiful Black families that and it's often, we don't see that in literature. And a lot of the things that our kids are exposed to is other ideas of families that don't look like them. So that was the root for all my stories, are to show diversity in characters, in literature, in a way that relates to our children right now. Cadence Learns Self-Love was a book that I mentioned in my very first children's book. It was just an idea. And, I got a couple of parents who loved the idea. And so it came into being this year. It's actually been sitting in my bookshelf, ready to publish for probably a year. And teaching pre-K kids this year, I taught pre-K kids and kindergarten kids. And you wouldn't believe how much it has developed my craft to know what they love, what type of dialogue they use. How do you explain these big ideas to them in simple form so that they can understand? And believe it or not, our young children are looking at us every day, and they are dealing with self-love issues. They are looking at their hair, their skin color. I remember giving them an activity, telling them to use 2 shades to color the character, a brown shade and a peach shade. And this brown skin kid did not want to color the character in the darker shade. And he's like, I don't like that shade. I said, but that's the shade of your skin. I don't like that. And he was in kindergarten. And so I started realizing, hearing them talk, that they are dealing with self-love issues in their little tiny way. And so this book was birthed from that idea that I want to touch these issues in a very simple way that will help our children learn, all children. And that's why I use cookie characters, actually. I wanted it to be diversity in such a different way. They love food, but that it could relate to any child, any race, any person. Yeah.
That's good. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for putting that out there. And need I say, my son loved it. My daughter, by the way, what I loved about that book, because it had Cookie. I think I sent you a video. So my daughter opened it and she decided to read it. She can't read. She's just 3, but from the photos she was just saying, oh, chocolate chip cookie, my chocolate chip cookie. She was just saying that, and then she was like narrating what was inside, and it kind of sounded like it was sounding as if she was actually reading it, because she got to the milk part and she was like, oh, and it made a huge mess. And mommy said, like, she was just making up her own story from the pictures. I was laughing. By the time I was able to get my phone, it was like towards the end of it when so I still send that anyway, because
I love it.
It's really fantastic how you were able to, depict that idea into this book that a lot of people, no matter even if they're 2-year-old, they can relate with it. When I read it to my son, because both of them, I promised them I was going to read it to them for bedtime. And I read this one. I was like, oh, that's the end of it? Why is it so short? Yeah, I was like, so they enjoyed it so much. And I was like, read this one. So I picked it up and then I read it. And then after the affirmations, the activities at the back of this one. So it was like, that's also done. And it was like, okay, what am I supposed to do with the activities? I said, you do that tomorrow, not tonight, because I'm tired. But that's how interested they were in what both of you have been able to put out there. So now I'm going to go to Ariyike. You've been, you wrote a book before, which I have right here, The Cost of Our Lives. And we also did a book tour here as well. And this was amazing. Very, very amazing. Like, it's something that when you read, you would not want to finish reading it. And now this time around, you ventured into the lives of young children. You thought to yourself, you know what? I want to do a little bit different. I want to touch the life of kids, because at the end of the day, they're the leaders of tomorrow. And you came up with this one. So I'm going to ask you, how did this inspiration come about? Why did you decide to go towards kids' books?
Awesome. Thanks for asking. So we moved to Canada in 2019. We moved from Nigeria. And, for the first time in my life, I realized how Black I was. Because in Nigeria, we're not minority. Like, everyone looks like you.
Exactly.
And, and this is coming from me who, I have always been well-traveled. All my 3 children, I had them abroad. We've always been traveling, like before I even got married, when I lived with my parents, we would travel to England on vacation. And, all of the times when I traveled, I never realized the color of my skin, because they were only for temporary visits. They were for vacation. They were always during summer, where you would always see a diverse set of people, because people have traveled from all over the world on vacation. And now this is me coming with my family to live in Canada. And then I realized how Black we were. Thankfully, when my children went to school, when they started school, they school in York region here in Ontario. And my kids have had a fantastic experience at school up until now. They've never had any issues. Nobody has ever bullied them. But the truth is that not every child has had it this way. And, I realized that there was a story that needed to be told because I wasn't finding this story on the internet. I was searching for books that would help us settle properly for my children to read. We bought Latoya's book, Grandma's Hands, and we bought a couple of other books from Canadian authors, not only Black authors, but just generally Canadian authors, books for children that would kind of make them understand the kind of people that were living in this country because we had never even been to Canada to visit. We moved here, we came here and started living here as permanent residents. So we had never come here to even see what the country was like. And, I wanted to tell a story that will carry every child along. I didn't want my book to be only for the Black child, even though my why, which is the reason why I wrote the book, was because of my 3 boys. I wanted every child to get a copy of this book and feel included. And in talking about every child, I wanted to include as many kids as possible. It would, I'm sure you guys will laugh, but when I first wrote the book, I had 22 children on the cover. 22. Because I wanted to capture everyone in a very special way. Like my brain was working in a very beautifully colored way. But my illustrator was like, no, we cannot do 22. And the max that we could do was 12. So I had to also infuse like the 22 children. So I had to redo the book where I had to infuse the 22 children into 12 characters. Now, if you look at the book, if you look at the cover, you can tell what the book is about even before flipping through the pages. And you can see the boy on the wheelchair. He has his basketball. Every child here has a story. So I call this my 12-year project. 12-year project meaning each of the characters will tell their stories. Each of them, we all will get to read their stories. So this is like an introduction to the lives of these beautiful children. And you can see the cover, they're all holding hands. They're holding hands because I feel like this is how the world should look like. This is the image that every child should see and say, this is how my world should be. I want my world to be beautifully colored like this. Because when you put children in a park, they would play together. Children don't care about race. They don't care about religion. They don't care about culture. They want to play together as children, and that is what they will do. So these are the reasons why I wrote this book, because, I want every child to see this and know that this is how the world should be with adults, we have Black Lives Matter. We have like all these movements that are trying to create a mind shift, that are trying to make people, see how life should be where everyone matters. But, with children, I feel like it's easier to work on them because children are like a blank canvas. You can write whatever it is you want to write on them and they will see the world that way. So this is just for, for every child to see that they are beautifully colored and their friends are also beautifully colored. And you guys can hold hands together and just be one without anyone feeling like they're more than the other person or feeling like they're more superior than the other person. So yes, I was inspired by my 3 boys, but this book is for every child in the whole world, every child.
That's fantastic. It's a really noble cause, and I believe a lot of people would learn from that. Even as I said, even people with disability, they see that, yes, this book also covers my story. And we're looking forward to, all the 12 years of stories. We're looking forward to that as well. So Latoya, this has been, I think this is the 5th book that we bought as well. And my son was so happy because when he flipped to the back and then he saw, it was like, oh, when he saw the books at the back, he was like, oh my God, I have this one. I have this one. Now I have a collection. He was so happy. And I was like,
this is amazing.
I was like, what? So he already sees it as a collection, which means, okay, later on, we're going to be buying more as you, I know you have a lot of ideas already, or probably You already have some on your shelf that you will be putting out there. So
Yeah.
that's how excited they are when they see these books. And these are things that influence that you guys are having on these children. Because when they continue to grow, they see photos of people that look like them in a book. So I would share with you, I think that was like a month ago, I was taking my son to school because he's Canadian. He was born here. And he's always saying things like, I would joke and say, you're racist, because I would say something, he would say something like, well, I'm Canadian and you're Nigerian. And I would say, what? You're a racist little boy. So he just said something, we're almost approaching the school. And then he said, how come I'm Canadian and I'm not peach? Usually because I don't know where he got peach and whatever from, but he calls people that are white, calls them peach. He calls other people brown and stuff. He never says black or white. I don't know if that's how they taught them in school. But he said, how come I'm Canadian and I'm not peach? And that touched me, because for him, he's just 6 years old. For him to have thought that deep into something, he's not seeing things that look like him in anywhere. And he's thinking, well, Canadians are supposed to be white, so why am I not white? And I said, because you came from me. You're only Canadian because I came to this country and I had you in this country. That's why. So it doesn't matter where you're from. Your parents, you would always look like your parents. And I said, don't you love how I look? Don't you love that proud Black woman? And I turned it into a joke, right? And then he laughed. But imagine that, how kids are thinking, because they don't see things that look like them in schools. They don't see people that look like them. They don't see authors, teachers, and stuff like that look like them. So that's really challenging. So things like this, when I see them, I'm grabbing them right off the, like, no stories about it. So this is fantastic what you guys are doing. So now going to the DEI space and Black History Month. I'm not sure if this was released this month. Was it, Latoya?
If what?
Was it released? Did you publish it this month?
Yes, it was published.
Okay. So that's what I thought. So why was it important to you to release this book on Black History Month?
Well, this one was not intentionally aimed to release during Black History Month. It just happened, I have a lot of personal background stuff that was going on. And this has been a book, like I said, has been done and sitting there for a while. But it just so happened that, like I said, this year I'm teaching elementary school. And so the influx of students and how they perceive themselves, and I know it's highlighted a lot for Black children during this month. It just so happened that it was done, and I just put it out to the world. But releasing Grammar Hands was purposefully released during this month because of the weight of the subjects, because of the weight of history and the weight of family, and how much during this month we focus on our ancestors, but not so much focusing on what happened right now. Your journey, Fikemi, your journey, Ariyike, how you traveled and you migrated here to create a better life. And the weight of that for your family, your siblings, your cousins, your auntie, and that symbol of hope of how I can change my life with this journey, the bravery that you guys had to come here to start over, that was all seated in Grandma's hands. And it was a journey that is just not for the Black culture, just not for the Black person, but for everyone. But for this month, it just so happened to be self-love. And this is the way God works, right? It just so happened to be a self-love team, and it happened to be Valentine's. And so as the businesswoman in me, you market on every opportunity. I don't do anything just lackadaisically or without great intent. My brain is working even when I'm not conscious. And so it just happened to fall right around Valentine's Day. So we were like, go with it. What better time now to talk about that? And the song Chippy Chippy Chocolatey in the book is to sort of like, yes, it's a play on your Black skin. Yes, it's a play on the chocolatey part of you. Those undertones are there for the Black individual to say, I love my chippy chocolate. I love what makes me unique. Yeah.
That's fantastic. That's really, yeah, I think it's catch. I don't know if I sang it right for them. I just went with the flow. When I was like, okay, let me just go with the flow. So, but yeah, mommy's
send it to
right,
me.
So they'll believe me. They'll believe me. So I'm going to ask you the same thing, Ariyike. Why was it like important for you to publish this book and release it in Black History Month?
Awesome. So like Latoya said, it was actually not intentional. I had planned to release my book on the 21st of March, almost a month to my birthday. My birthday is on the 25th of April. And the reason why I wanted to release it on the 21st of March is because 21st of March is actually the International Day for the Elimination of Racial Discrimination. I wanted to release it purposely on that day because it aligned with the day. But then I released the cover last year. This book was finished, it was done last year, but I didn't want to release it last year because I already published this last year. And I wanted this to be my only body of work for 2021. And I wanted, new work for 2022. So I decided to bring this forward and then release it in March. But then after I released the cover, the response was phenomenal. Like, people were DMing me, people were calling me, people were so excited and saying, oh, I need this book for my son. Is it ready? When can I get it? I need it for my daughter. And I told them, it's going to be released next year. And then in January, I got a call from a friend who works with a tech company based in the US. And they had seen the cover of my book and they were interested in buying some copies to give out for Black History Month. So I told her that the book was coming out in March and she was like, okay, well, we'll go with another author. And I was like, wait. The book will be ready in February. So I told her, I was like, look, I'm even done with the book, but I wanted to release it on a particular day. But then if you guys already want to buy, a couple of copies, why not if not? So that was why I released it on the 1st of February, because I already had people that wanted to buy the book, even though the book wasn't ready.
Yeah, that's fantastic. That's beautiful. Guys, in case you're hearing noise at the background, my kids have refused to be quiet.
I wanted to chip in something, I just wanted to backtrack to what you said about, DEI and the DEI space. And, just talking about skin and, also with what Latoya is doing with her book, which is phenomenal. Self-love is very important because I feel like with even me, I'm big on self-love. I don't play when it comes to self-love. And it is something that I grew up seeing, my parents do. And it's something that I intentionally, do. I work on myself. I'm constantly, consciously working on myself. And what I want to say is, if we are applying to jobs, the form comes up at the end, which is, usually optional for people to disclose the races that they represent. So if, as a company, as an organization, you are comfortable asking me to check off a box to say I am African, Black, or I am, white or European, or, they have the terms that they use. I think that people should start to get comfortable talking about these things. If somebody is Black, why do you feel uncomfortable saying the person is Black? If someone is white, if someone is brown, why do you feel uncomfortable saying, talking about the color of their skin? I think that people need to start getting comfortable talking about these things because we are who we are. I'm not going to change the color of my skin for anybody. Never. I love the color of my skin. But if behind closed doors, you can make a decision of my employment based on the color of my skin, then when we come out to the forefront, why can't we address people for what they look like and not be biased and have no bias based on the color of their skin? So I think that, we need to have more conversations about this because I'm not going to change. A white person is not going to be Black because they love Lady Ariyike. I'm not going to be Black because maybe my best friend is white. But I want us to be able to sit down and have these conversations without having any form of bias. Because in as much as we want to be united and we're hoping to have a united world, and that's the reason why I wrote this book, we are all still beautifully colored. and we are all still we still look the way we look. And that's not going to change. And our children are going to look like us. And that's not going to change. So I think that we need to start having these conversations with a clear, open mind. And we need to have them with love as well at the forefront. Making our children realize that we are all different. We're not the same. We're all unique. Like we're all unique. Everyone is unique. We're different. We're unique. And everyone is beautifully colored. But don't shy away from the race conversation because you don't want to say, oh, this person is Black. Because I feel like if you're uncomfortable talking about the color of my skin, but then you're comfortable making me check a box to say, oh, I'm Black before I apply for a role, then I have a problem with that.
Okay.
That's true, because at the end of the day, yeah, that actually makes sense, because in those interview, the application forms, you see they put all of that. Are you indigenous? Are you Black? Are you African descent? Do you have disability, or prefer not to answer? And a lot of people who go to prefer not to answer, which understandably so, because a lot of people, they put that there just to show that they are being inclusive, they are being diverse, right? But the truth be told is a lot of people wouldn't move to the next stage based on them choosing that. So a lot of companies has more to do to, to let people know that we're not going to be making decisions based on that. This is just to be able to, accommodate everybody, right? So that's really important. Understandably so, a lot of people are.
But you know the truth. You know what you said, where you said a lot of people will not move forward. But sometimes a company just they want to hire one Black person.
Yeah.
So it might be, like you're saying, prefer not to answer. But then the one Black person that checks off, then that's going to make a difference. So the thing, so that's where I'm going to. These are conversations we need to have openly, not on the internet where you don't have anybody to ask questions or whatever. These are conversations that people need to speak about, and organizations should consciously talk about them. Their why. Their why. The reason why. So if there's a form on your website, why do you have it there? Do you want to hire just one Black person?
Can I interject here a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I interject?
Yes,
amazing points, and like Fikemi said, so they post this there first of all to publicly say that they are diverse, that they are a diverse company.
Oh, the statements are usually there. They usually even put
usually do. Then the next thing is to post this to sort of invite people who are saying, okay, maybe having the same thoughts as you, that they may not hire someone Asian or Black, but it's to invite people to come in. We want diversity. So it's hard to tell the intentions of companies, but let's move past trying to fit in on their tables. Right now, the motive for us is to create our own table. We're not going to sit down. We don't want to, exactly. We don't want to be concerned with, can I get a seat? Can I get a seat? We're past that now. Okay, we don't want to fight for a seat, and we don't want to fight each other for that one seat. Like
exactly, because we all have to thrive together.
We know that they'll hire one woman, one Black woman, one Black man, one Asian this, one person with a hijab, whatever. We're not going to fight for that one space, and that's what causes us to be fighting against each other, bringing down another Black woman, bringing down another woman, because we know, man, that one seat, we want that one seat. But forget that. We're no longer concerned. We're trying to figure out how we're going to pull up our little bench, our little stool at a table, or fight for one chair anymore. We are in that space, and I see it for Kemi. I see it in you, Ariyike. We're not concerned with who's giving us opportunities. You guys created this platform for us, for Black authors. Who is asking us today to show up to talk about our books? You're bringing together 10 Black Amazon best-selling authors today. Who's bringing that platform, that table for us, Ariyike? You went and you created it yourself, okay? So that's what we want to show our kids. We're no longer fighting to be included in what you're doing. We're trying to prepare our own tables, and then let's bring others. Let's go find.
That's the intention, right? Because at the end of the day, what I was going to say is because, if I see anything like that says, "Are you Black?" I'm so proudly Black, which is which is why you can see it. I'm so proudly Black. I would tick that off. And the mindset of doing that is not because I just want to tick it. It's because I feel like if you're not going to give me the job because I said I'm Black, I don't want your job anyway, because I will be miserable. Right? Because in everything I do, promotion wise, in you checking, promoting me, giving me raises, even my salary, everything will be affected by that bias that you already have. So I don't want to be there anyway.
Yes.
Do you understand? Because at the end of the day, we're all looking to work from paycheck to paycheck to paycheck. No, we need to be able to love what we do. Find yourself in a place where there's a community. There are people that, love you for who you are, for the work you do. They see value in the work you do. They see value in what you bring to the table. And not all of us actually can start our own thing, right? But if you're going to work for somebody, work in a place where your value is recognized, and people, they'll pay you exactly what they're paying your counterparts. Not somebody is getting 80,000, you're getting 50,000. That is not what we want. And last week I had a guest on my show, and we're talking about what Latoya had hammered on today, creating our own table. For so many years, our ancestors, I don't know what it was, but they were sleeping on the table. They were sleeping. They were looking, just give me, like, it's like in the Bible, there was, I think, Lazarus and whatever, the rich man or whatever, Lazarus. Stop. Get out of that mindset. Let's create our own table. And this current generation, I would say in the last 3 years, 4 years, all of us are beginning to rise up and hold one another's hands so that we can move forward, which is the theme of this season, moving forward. We're no longer sitting, waiting, and, killing one another, hitting one another, hating one another to be able to get that one single seat, which when you get anyway, you're not being put at the same level as others on that table. You're just going to be a figurehead because you're supposed to be the yes guy. When you sit down, you're the yes guy. Because at the end of the day, when we get those positions, we're so scared to say our mind because we're concerned that they're going to kick us off the table.
Yeah. And that's why when they get in, they shut the door on
everybody. Yes, Ariyike.
And then they also come with that, when they chase that one person out, then they'll be like, oh, yeah, we had one before. Didn't perform well, so now we don't want any more Black people. Exactly. Right? So now we are cutting down the trees in the bushes. We are, taking them to the sawmill and creating a huge, humongous table for ourselves. And we're bringing everybody out.
Bringing everybody. That's important. Yes.
That is it. So at this point, we feel like everybody, we should. There was this thing on, it was on Instagram. It was just a voice thing where they say, "Girl, you can't compete with me, because I want you to win too." I was like, yeah, that's the mindset.
I love it. Yes.
Right? That's the mindset, because we want each and every one of us to win. We want to be able to create that generational wealth. Because truth be told, nobody's going to get rich from getting handouts. You're never going to be rich from getting out there. And also, truth be told, these other races that are creating that generational wealth, they get creating it among one another too. So why can't we do the same? Right?
There's space for all of us.
We have to do that for all of us. And I've seen so much of that support within our community. When somebody publishes a book, we're not waiting for somebody else to buy. We're all going to buy. We're pushing you to the best author.
That's it.
No matter what happens.
That's
right?
it.
That's how this should continue. And this is why this is so important that you wrote these books, because we want our kids to start thinking the same way. Because what is affecting us now is the mindset that we gained from our parents, that you have to be humble. Yeah, nothing is wrong with being humble, right? But we have to be humble with strategy. We have to be humble with our, with our number 6 intact, right? So that's how this is very magnificent. This that you both have done. And one fantastic thing about it is they both have affirmations. So I will start with this one. So yesterday I was just making my kids say, right? They both have affirmations at the end of it, which is fantastic. If you have not gotten this book, girl, you're so wrong. There's just go on their pages, or if you can go on my page, you will see there's links there where you can go on Amazon or type the name of the books on Amazon and you can buy it and you will thank me later, right?
So don't forget to get the kids a mirror. They need a mirror.
What do you see when you look in the mirror?
Yes.
Right? And that's so fantastic. It says, what do I see when I look into the mirror? I see kindness. I see funny, happiness, beauty, special, bravery, family, me. And then it's also give the kids that opportunity, let me move it here, to write what they see in the mirror. And I told my son, I said, you're going to write. Okay. What do you see when you look at yourself in the mirror? You're going to write it in there. Right. And that's very important. And also for this one, the affirmation also, it's fantastic. It's phenomenal. Where when kids, the funny part is when I was reading it, I was also nodding along like, yeah, that's me. Yes. Because it's true. It's not just for kids. Because see, I don't know if I am grateful, I am worthy, I am confident, I am peaceful, I am amazing, I am enough, I matter, I choose love, I choose happiness, I am hopeful, I believe in myself. Yeah, I do. I am in control of my emotions. I forgive myself for my mistakes, because a lot of us, we make mistakes and we dwell on those mistakes and we never move forward, right?
True.
So I forgive myself for my mistakes. I forgive others. I accept myself for who I am. I accept others for who they are. I see all humans as equal, which is very important that we instill these values in our kids. I see all humans as equal. I am beautifully colored. Woo! That's fantastic. What you both have done. So it was just a no-brainer that I was going to pair both of you to bring, because it was like two peas in a pod, both books. Two peas in a pod, and it came out at the perfect time. So there's no way, of course, it's going to become a bestseller, right? So this is fantastic. So now, because I know that you have other events that you will be going into, I will start with Ariyike. What are the final thoughts that you want to talk about before, we end the live stream today?
Awesome. Thanks. I mean, my message would particularly go to parents, immigrant parents who moved from their countries of birth and moved to, be it Canada, be it the US, wherever it is that you are. We left our comfort zones to come in search of a better future for ourselves and our children and our families. In doing that, we should never ever neglect our children. We shouldn't neglect our duties as parents, because you see that people come this far and then they begin to chase the hustle.
Yeah.
The system is almost catching up on them. So they have to work. They're going from paycheck to paycheck. And in doing that, they begin to forget the main reason why they came here. A lot of us moved here because of our children. A lot of us. I personally, I mean, I had a thriving career as a TV host in Nigeria. I worked with the media for about 7 years. I did a lot of awesome things. As a lawyer, I already had over 10 years experience. And I moved here to Canada to start all over again. Left all of that behind. Left my mom, my siblings, my entire family. Most of them, they're back. My in-laws, they're in Nigeria. Came here, didn't know so many people. We came here mainly because of our children, because Nigeria wasn't giving us the kind of opportunities that we wanted for them. I mean, Nigeria is a fantastic country. I love my country, and I've been there since I moved to Canada. But then, what everyone wants for for their children is different. What I wanted for my children, I wanted them to compete with, kids globally, and that was one of the reasons why we moved here. We could have sent them to boarding school abroad, because my first two were born in England and my third was born in the US. We could have decided to send them to boarding school, which would have been the easiest option. But then we knew that we wanted to live as a family and, just let the kids grow up in our homes. So in moving abroad to hustle or to do whatever it is that you came here to do, because not everybody came here for their children. But if you're a parent and you're here, do not forget that your children should come first, because we are Black. I'm Black. I mean, three of us were Black. We don't want our children to grow up in a system where they get caught up because we didn't perform our duties as parents. So I feel like, in coming here, let's give our children the best we can in terms of upbringing, in terms of instilling morals in them, so that when they leave home, when they go into the world, when they go into the workspace, people look at them and say, oh, wow, your mama trained you right. Oh, your father trained you right. So, that's just like the message that God sent me here to bring. It's mainly for the parents. Show your children love. Teach them self-love. Teach them how to be confident. Let them love the skin that God gave them. And in doing that, we're doing good for the society, because at the end of the day, we're breeding kids who will go out there in their fullest human form and begin to do awesome things. But then if you neglect them, these kids are going to be a problem to the society. They're going to become a problem to the country that gave you permanent residency, that said, come into this country, come and live here legally. But then you're going to do the country a disservice if you don't train your children properly. And of course, get a copy of my book if you don't have it. Go on Amazon, get your copies, buy your copies, buy for your children, buy for your nieces, your nephews, your godchildren, your neighbors, buy for every child on the street, and just say, hey, you, take this book. So yes.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to go to Latoya.
Drops
mic and walks away.
And walks away.
All right. So Latoya, what will you be leaving us with today? What's your final thing for us today, that if we didn't listen at all, this is so important for us to learn?
Yeah, so for me right now, this book is talking about self-love, and just for us to always remember that self-love, the way that we see our children as teenagers, young adults, it starts from home. It starts very early. These are the things that we have to say to our kids. It's important to say that you love your child. It's important to highlight their features, what is beautiful, about them. It's important to tell them, affirm themselves, the things that you're doing with Darren and your daughter. It's important to tell them these things. I am proud of you. I believe in you. And it starts really early. My son is almost 2, and I affirm him, and I show him how to affirm himself. When he does something good, he knows when he does something good, and he starts clapping for himself. He doesn't even wait for us anymore to start. Wow. He starts affirming himself. And I realize they're able to learn. Like Ariyike said, they're a blank canvas. And what we paint onto them, if we paint drama, we paint discouragement, we paint lack of confidence, lack of self-esteem, we paint insecurities, that is what they will become. If we paint love, light, encouragement, positivity, you can come to me for anything. I believe in you, and that's why the character in the book went to their mom, and the words that the mom said to reassure her. And check in with your kids again. Even though you have a conversation with them, go back and check in. Hey, mom, someone said this at school. Go back and check in a couple weeks later. Your kids are dealing with real life issues to them that you may think is minor, but it's big to them. And they deal with all the things that we deal with, just on a different level. We need to check in, and we need to start growing in them the values and the things that are important, and making that, grow into beautiful fruit. And I think exposing them to, books like these, books like Ariyike's, I love Ariyike's book. Like, even if you never read the inside, once a child sees something that looks like them, hey, I have a wheelchair. Mom, look at me. I dress like that. I look like that. That alone, even without reading the book, is saying that you are important. Someone looks like me right there. That is me. I can see myself. It helps them to grow. It helps to grow their self-love. It helps to grow their identity, who they are. And who they are and who they become starts with home, you and me. So let's remember the importance of family and showing our kids, their self-worth now, today, from us, and not from strangers.
Exactly. That's fantastic. And the truth be told is we have to work on ourselves as well, because a lot of back home, they say action speaks louder than voice. Sometimes we don't have to tell these kids things. They see you and they just act, they're like sponges. They soak up whatever they see in their parents. So if you're not confident, if you stammer when you see other people, if things like that, your kids are just going to be a reflection of that as well.
Yes.
So we have to work on ourselves first. I know that I say all of this as well. There is no way am I saying I'm perfect. In fact, I'm far from perfect. So
Nobody
sometimes
is.
we say that, but it's for us to go back as well and rethink.
Yes.
Because when I'm watching this playback later, I will rethink and say, you know what? I think I need to work on this confidence a little bit more, right? Because I don't want my child to, see that from me and take it in, right? So that's really important. And I really appreciate you both on behalf of the Black community. All right? I say a big thank you for bringing this to, and for some reason they both look alike, right? It's like
Yes,
blue,
The blue.
and rainbows and all kind of colors. So it's eye catching and it's fantastic. These are the type of books I like to read when I was growing up, because I used to hate to read if it doesn't have photos. So this, of course, I would read because I can see the photos in there. I would read it. All right. So this has been a fantastic session. I really appreciate both of you for what you do, for what you have been, all the positivity you have been putting out there, not just to other people you speak with, because both of you speak with adults, you're public speakers, you do all other things, and on your spare time, you still find the time to write books. And that's fantastic. You're touching lives of everybody, from generation to generation, wherever generation they fall. And that's important. Thank you so much. I know you both have other commitments, all right, today. So I'm going to give you back the rest of your day so you can prep. I really appreciate you. And for everybody that attended, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you guys. And I'll be seeing you again next week when I bring another guest. So thank you so much and have a fantastic week.